So the channel hit 500, no, how many? 5 million. I'm supposed to be a numbers guy, right? The channel hit 5 million views. And I got a little plaque the other day, not a plaque, not in the mail, but a virtual plaque for my 5 million views. Thank you so much for contributing your viewing, contributing your liking, your subscribing, your notifying, and all that kind of stuff. It's been a great 13 months. And this shirt, particular today, is for the one person in 13 months that said, Randy, why don't you consider getting rid of those loud shirts and maybe your numbers will get better? And this is my response. Okay, the market's got a late present today and they want to return it. The jobs report is in and the sell-off in bonds continues, although equities did shockingly well so far this morning. I personally think that this number is the number that is actually spooking the markets this morning is this one. Average hourly earnings rose 4% on the month, and we're up 4.1% from a year ago. Did I say that incorrectly? Earnings rose 0.4% for the month. That'll be a 4.8 run rate. And they were up 4.1 from a year ago. These are both higher than the respective estimates of 0.3 and 3.9%. So the month over month thing, I think, is the spookiest part of the entire report. Therefore, the entire report wasn't spooky enough to cause the markets to crash this morning. In fact, they're up a little, but it did boost the bonds and also, well, okay, let's keep on going. So December's job report showed employers added 216,000 jobs for the month, with the unemployment rate holding steady at 3.7. The payroll growth showed a sizable gain from November's downwardly revised 173. October was also revised lower to 105 from 150. That's 45,000 jobs. That's 33%. That's a big revision. I think that's why the markets are not going down this morning. They took a look at this in depth in time before the markets even opened this morning. There's no headline about this, but somebody must have paid attention. Economists surveyed by the Dow Jones had been looking for payrolls to increase 170,000 and for the unemployment rate to nudge higher by 0.1% to 3.8, which did not happen. But if you look at the difference between that 170,000 expectation and the 216,000 that came in, and you take away that giant drop, it's kind of a nothing burger, isn't it? Moreover, it suggests that, who knows, next month we could have another revision that might take us down by a third? I don't know. A more encompassing unemployment measure that includes discouraged workers and those holding part-time jobs for economic reasons edged higher to 7.1%. There's another, what would you call it, Goldilocks number. Not bad, not good, kind of in the middle. That increase in the real unemployment rate came as the household survey used to calculate the unemployment rate showed a decline in job holders of 683,000. You see, anyway, the report, along with revisions to previous month's counts, brought 2023, the year 2023, job gains to 2.7 million, or a monthly average of 225,000, but that is down from the average in last year of 399,000 a month. Bidenomics? Anybody? Okay, sure. We've been using the Fed to try to reduce activity. Apparently it's working. We're down from 399,000 a month average to only 225,000 a month average in jobs being increased. So is this good news or actually bad news? The expectation of rate cut in March dropped to 55% on that news. Now there's a shocker for you. I'm sure Cathie Wood is not going to be happy with that when we have her, when we discuss her tomorrow morning. Okay, she has her report tonight. I encourage you to watch it yourself, whether you watch it yourself or whether you wait until tomorrow morning to have Larry and I go through it line by line. Even if you watch it yourself, you're going to want to watch that. Okay, that analysis that Larry and I do once each month is unbelievably useful. Larry's a smart, wise guy, and he straightens me out every month. He shows me where I'm wrong. Anyway, I think people seem to like that. Is getting more and more viewers every single month. That is coming up. I also believe I'm going to have Brian Wong on later this morning. He's got some science news for us that affects us, okay? Affects everything that Tesla is doing. And then tonight I will be by myself because on Good News Friday, because Larry will be working and helping me tomorrow. Now, Larry's also working on the supercharger expectations for 2024. And that report, I'm thinking, might end up being over the weekend, or we will look at some of the other divisions in terms of my expectations as the year is moving along. On the other hand, as we look at the inflationary pressures from labor this morning, Trueflation is sitting at 2.13 this morning, and there's zero indication. I can't find anything that tells me that inflation is coming back. The service sector is strong. There's no doubt about that. And that's probably 100%. I'm sure that's why we're seeing the higher than expected wage increases. But in terms of the actual prices, we're at 2.13. So, and we've also had that PCE for 6 months being flat, around the 2% level or even lower over the 6 month, which is the number one thing that the Fed looks at. So this all might be playing into the Fed being, to the markets being actually up a little bit this morning. Okay, there's no doubt about it, but that as of this morning, Tesla is being treated like the Cathie Wood stocks. It's been all week. It goes back into the last year. So the Tesla is no longer moving like the NASDAQ, which it did for a while. It's no longer moving like the Mag 7, which it did for a while. Right now, it appears that the market is looking at Tesla as interest rate sensitive, like the Cathie Wood stocks. And so if you look at where Tesla is actually down this morning as the Mag 7 is up, what's going on? Interest rates going up. The bonds are being crushed this morning with the yields being up. There's no other news that I can find that would affect this unless you count the fact that there was another over-the-air recall in China this morning for 1.6 million cars were up, we're going to be updated. Anyway, I have a lot of questions. I have more questions right now about Tesla than I've ever had before that I believe are relevant. My list is long, even though Elon and the rest of the executives have been more visible and more transparent than ever. But help me out. Let's go through this list. Let me know in the comments below. Is there questions that you have that I'm not asking? Do you think these questions are right? Do you have any answers to some of these questions? I think these are legit questions that retail and institutional investors should be able to get an answer to. Most of them, I think there's only a couple that could even have any competitive, any reason why they wouldn't answer them based on competitive reasons. So let's take a look here. Number one, is Dojo ramping per the plan? And is it being used already right now to help with FSD? Some questions about that over the week. I thought for sure it's being used to help with FSD, but that was questioned a couple of places. So is the ramp going well? I want to know that. And is it in fact in use? That maybe you guys already know this and you can help me in the comments. Number two, will Dojo become a profit center with some kind of Dojo as a service? It's time to let us know that. Is that on the table? Is that being considered? When you've got Morgan Stanley, Adam Jonas saying this is 30% of his valuation right now, I'd like to know, is this going to become a reality? Because obviously Elon says it could be a $400 billion business. That'd be good to know. I don't think the competitors are going to go screaming one way or the other if we get that notification that that's coming. Number three, what is the current expectation for the 4680 hitting the 100 gigawatt hour run rate? Are we on the path to mid-year hitting 100 gigawatts? Is there any major things that are in the way that would keep that from happening? I think this is something, we've been getting updates on that. Give us the update, because I think this could be the number one most critical thing that's going on at Tesla right now. I think it's bigger. I think it's either right at or the most critical thing. Obviously, Optimus would be the other one. Number four, what is holding up the ramp on energy storage and Lathrop? And when will that logjam break? I don't think the competitors care. I really don't. I think you could tell us. I think they could say, here's what we've got going on at Lathrop. We don't have enough batteries. We don't have enough of this piece of equipment. We don't have enough labor. We can't get enough people to go to work in Reno. Whatever it is, in Lathrop, let's find out what's going on there. It seems like that should be ramping up. Number 6, does Tesla plan to make thousands or tens of thousands of Optimi this year? And will they be sold or rented to factories other than Tesla and Tesla suppliers in 2024? Again, there are no competitors. Let us know. This is something that the community is completely in disarray on. I'm way out ahead of my skis, I'm sure. Well, no, I'm not. I think they're making them now. I think they're going to be making lots of robots this year. Come on. There's no reason not to announce. Let us know. Is it thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands that you're expecting to make this year? Any of those numbers is possible. Possible. Scott Walter thinks they're making them now, or are using them now in factory. Scott Walter thinks that they will be making them in quantity this year, in serious quantities this year. All right, number 7. How is the Cybertruck ramp going? Are you past any major expected barriers to a smooth ramp? Simple question. Competitors don't care. Be nice to know. Where are we on the ramp? How is it going so far? And is there something? They don't have to tell us what it is, but are there a couple of those, like ramping issues that are still out there that are going to be a potential problem? 8, is the Gen 3 vehicle expected to be in production by Q3, Q4, or not until 2025? Right now, I think everybody's expecting that the Gen 3 will be in production by Q3. Once again, now this is one that maybe they're worried about the competition, but I'm not sure that it matters. What is the goal? Q3, Q4, or not till 2025? Number 9, if Tesla is not gunning for 2.8 to 3 million shipments this year, even though the factory capacity would allow for that number, why not? Yeah, this is, maybe I should have put this way at the top. This is one of my most important questions over the last week as I've been doing all this analysis. There is clearly capacity. You heard, maybe last night, you heard, yeah, I'm okay. As we were discussing on last night's show, Bradford Ferguson and I were discussing, there's clearly something on the order of 2.8 to 3 million capacity right now. 2.53 would be the 50% over, year after year rate. Why are we not looking at 2.5 or 2.8 or 3? The capacity is there. Is it that the demand is not, and you haven't figured out how to generate that much demand? Take a hint from almost everybody now. Time to advertise. Time to advertise. Time to advertise. All right, number 10. When will Dr. Know-It-All get his interview? This is a big one. Okay. Number 11. Will the first production of Optimus have a voice? Will that Optimus have some kind of a voice? Will it have a brain? Will it have grok behind the voice? All right, we want to know this. Number 12, we understand that you may not want to Osborne the Model Y by talking about Juniper, but if you can, when will we see Juniper? Is that truly going to be something that's coming in the second quarter of this year? That would be fabulous. Everybody wants it. Is that something that is possible? Number 13, how will the version 12 deal with my 2 questions? Massive pedestrian crossing that is common in downtowns during rush hour, and parking lots where people are waiting for vertical parking spaces to open, and they're having to stand around and wait for that opportunity. How does that going to work? Number 14, have you considered a 2-tier pricing for FSD based on people that want it for commercial use, like robotaxi, and those who only want to use it for personal use? I've been talking about this for 3 to 4 months. Nobody else is talking about it. Why not? It's so obvious. And I'd like to know, Elon, is this something that you're considering? Is this something you can't talk about yet because you want people to pay full price? Anyway, this is something I want to know. 16, what has happened to the solar division? Will this soon get better leadership or some kind of emphasis or something? what's happened to solar? It's a big business. I know last year was tough with interest rates, but what's going on with solar? Okay, number 17, where's the Roadster? Number 18, are there any roadblocks or limiting factors to the production of a useful Optimus? This is going back to Optimus again. Maybe there's a roadblock. Maybe there's something we don't know. From everything I'm seeing, from everything that Scott Walter is seeing, there's no roadblocks. They should be able to make them now. It's a matter of putting up a line. It shouldn't be a difficult line to create, not difficult to build, not the part, all the parts are there. They're already on the bot. The brain should be already done. We've seen all these other examples from other factories, other robot makers, now at least 3 or 4 that are saying that they will have useful robots in factories in 2024. Is there something holding us up? If not, great, but let us know. All right. Number 19, updates on actual construction for Mexico, Reno, Shanghai, and India. What is our expectations? Number 20, many of us are expected multiple announcements for mega factories. If the goal is 21 1 full terawatt hour by 2030, we need to start building a lot of factories now, but we only had one announcement. And then related to that, will Lathrop double to 20,000 megapacks per year capacity as Bradford Ferguson thinks is going to happen? Those are related questions. I mean, I'm expecting this to explode. So far, we're seeing, All right, number 21. Are you going to field a sales force to go after B2B sales such as fleets, licensing agreements, OEM sales or for parts? We know that's already happening with charging, the actual stalls. Is there going to be more? Number 22. Are you still expecting 1 or more major licensing agreements in 2024? That's my list. Please add to it, subtract from it. Tell me I'm crazy, whatever you want to do with it, but use the comments below. All right. Sawyer Merritt says, here's why Tesla's EV range numbers dropped today on their website, commonly by about 20 miles. The EPA now mandates all EV manufacturers that sell in the U.S. to test acceleration and ride height modes in both best and worst case scenarios. Averaging these modes results in increased consumption and a slight reduction in overall range. These changes were made to better reflect real world range performance. So this is a bigger story maybe than it looks like, even though 20 miles doesn't seem like a lot. It's something where people are going to say, what just happened here? That's what happened. This new policy is applicable to new testing for 2024 model year and later vehicles. All right, where are the markets now? Let's check things out. We have got Tesla recovering a little bit. Yes, Tesla recovering a lot right now, has been in the green, slightly capping off now, going back into the red just a little bit by 8 cents. We have got all of the 3, the Dow Jones is up 42, the NASDAQ up 25, and the S&P up 10. And then the Magnificent 7 all up except for Apple and Tesla, again, both down very slightly at this point. The Cathie Wood stocks are mixed, but right around break even as we're looking at it right now. Let's go now look at the percentages. We've got the Dow up 0.11, the NASDAQ up 0.31. Look at that. The NASDAQ is now up more than the Dow for a change. Over the last couple of weeks, it's commonly been the other way, and the S&P is up the strongest at up 0.36, with Tesla up 0.43 at this point, back in the green. Even Apple is back in the green. Everything seems to be headed up right now. So maybe they've taken a look at the totality, as I just did, the totality of what the jobs report was showing this morning, and made the decision that it's probably okay. Everything's going to be just fine. All right, let's take a look at whether bonds has also made that decision. I doubt it. So let's take a look. Let's see here. We have got the bonds sitting here right now, up 9 basis. I'm sorry. No, it has. Look at that. It's still slightly over 4, sitting up 1.3 basis points on the 10-year right now, but that is down from where it was in the pre-market. So the 10-year bond is settling down, and the directionality looks to me like it's going to go back. Yep, right now 3.998. So that is interesting. Let's take a look at the 2-month is up 2 basis points. The 2-year is down 2 basis points. So there you go. That's the inversion collapsing a little bit this morning. Anyway, so there you go. That's why things are looking. So yeah, I think the overall, they've decided that the jobs report was okay. Maybe a little breather. They looked at my analysis. They heard my analysis over the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they made the decision that everything's okay. So we've got oil up $1.44 or 1.99%. That's a little strong this morning. Brent about the same, a little bit less actually. Natural gas down 3.44. I've never seen anything like this natural gas situation. Up 5, down 4, up 3, up 5. I mean, it's just crazy. I don't know why this is happening. Not sure at all. Gold up a little bit. Silver up a little bit. Copper down this morning. And you've got the dollar pretty much holding about even. You've got the Bitcoin down 539. It's been, all over the place recently. And that is the list. Okay. Again, you're going to want to buy these. I'm very shocked. The first week of the year, I've sold as many of these in the first week of 2024 as I expected to sell in the entire month. So thank you very much. I know you're probably buying them because you want them, not because you're supporting me, but it is supporting the channel and it's a great, great help. So place your order, $25 for 1, $45 for 2, $65 for 3, $90 for 4, $110 for 5, et cetera, et cetera. All that information is down in the description. Send your send your PayPal money to paypal.me/Randy Kirk, all lowercase letters. Be sure to say whether you want camo or stainless, still about a third, don't say. And also add that $20 if you are outside the US, or $30 if you're like in Australia, that part of the world, that whole Pacific Rim, that part of the Pacific. All right, let's see here. We also want to remind you, yesterday, Scott Wolter was on. Scott Wolter did a great job. It was probably the most important video Scott Wolter and I have ever done, because Scott now believes that we're doing it right now. It's happening. Okay, as fast as possible, these robots, these bots, these Optimi will be on the market, okay? As quickly as they can possibly be manufactured, they will be manufactured. That Elon Musk will not slow down at all. There will be nothing to keep him from producing these as fast as possible. Now, getting them into the marketplace, getting them sold or rented, getting a customer service group together to go out and help install them. Yeah, that's all going to take some time, but there's no reason why it can't be done very, very fast. As somebody said the other day, I think Tesla can walk and chew gum at the same time. This is so important, so critical. There's no reason why they won't be making, and potentially renting out thousands, tens of thousands this year. Anyway, that card is right here to talk to Scott, to see what Scott had to say yesterday. And then Patreon, please. Thank you. So many people joining Patreon this month. Remember, we now have a $3 category, but the $3 category is not going to get you any free books. It's not going to get you any free. Cybertruck bottle openers. If you want those, you have to get to the $10 level. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Now we've hit that 5 million. This year, I want to do 10 million to add to that 5 million. Give us 15 million by this time next year. Can you help? Hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify. Thank you so much. It's been great talking to you.